it didn't go. Okay.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to the LovePod Podcast. Today we're going to recap episode 7 of House of Villains.
Yeah, the pride cometh before the fall. Good evening, Jordan.
And hello. It's dark.
It is not over here yet. It's still, we're getting there, but it feels dark in my mind after watching this.
It's dark in my office. I was worried I was going to be too dark, but I got plenty of screens lighting me up.
And you got the Christmas vibes going again. Now the tree is on because it's dark. I've got dogs chomping bones in the background because I feel guilty that I've not been in the house all day. So you're welcome, anybody listening. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. They are my children, and I do feel bad that I abandoned them all day, even if it was for a good cause. Okay, so different vibe. This morning we chatted with Nick from Love is Blind, and you guys will hear that episode probably in January. And this week we're returning to the House of Villains.
Yeah, what an interesting episode coming back from a week off for Thanksgiving.
I don't know, man. Like, I would have liked this week off and had an episode last week. So if, E can get that done for me next year, I would appreciate it.
I would appreciate no weeks off, actually. If we could just
that's
have one every week.
That is true. Just nonstop, no breaks between seasons.
I would have been thankful for House of Villains.
Yeah, I could have used it for sure. And then this week, how did you feel about the episode as a whole? Because I was not my favorite.
It was a weird episode. The challenge was weird. I know we're going to get into it, but the challenge was weird. There was no special villain guest. Joel wasn't even there. It was just a weird episode overall.
It feels like they either forgot something or had to throw it together last minute and all came back to the house like after filming was wrapped and threw something together really quick to me.
True.
I know that's probably not what happened, but it was like, oh, snap. Like, we didn't get a challenge this week. Let's squeeze one in. And then
it was just, everything was very different. Like a whole different, I don't know, whole different vibe to it.
Yeah, for sure. So we started with, of course, the house hangout this week. We saw last week Tanisha's choir and Omarosa getting in the middle of it, saying the best way to steal someone's attention is to just get right in the middle of something. So she did, and apparently she got hit with a tambourine. I somehow missed that.
I don't know. I watched that replay, that instant replay. They played it how many times? I did not see any contact between the tambourine and the Omarosa. I don't know. Felt like I was watching sports ball.
I joined choir because it is a no contact sport. So I agree with you. Omarosa, I feel like you're milking this a lot. And I get it. Like, I get hurt in weird ways. Sometimes you get hurt sleeping wrong as you age, as you get older in life. But this is real extra to me. I mean, going to the hospital to get x-rays, she can't talk about it, but she comes back with a brace. We have to have a protective order in-house. What do you think, Jordan?
Oh my, what? Okay, this is just all like, just a whole thing. Do you think she's just trying to is she trying to take the spotlight away from what Tanisha did? Is she trying to turn people against Tanisha? I don't know what she's trying to do, but she's trying to do something.
I do not know what goes on in that woman's head because I don't think I could ever play a convincing villain as part of my real life personality. I cannot think that far ahead and cannot anticipate all the scenarios that seem to be going on. But I don't see the benefit to keeping so Tanisha's still there was the end result. They're going to stay, but they're going to stay 5 feet apart from each other, which lasts approximately 35 seconds. And she didn't turn anybody against Tanisha, except maybe Anfisa, but we don't see any of that. Like, it just seems like everybody knows that Omarosa is being dramatic. And maybe that's just her. But
And
I feel
nobody
like
seems to believe it.
No,
Anyways.
because that's just like, it was a tambourine. I can't, like, I don't even.
Tambourines are very light instruments.
Yeah, I don't want to get into like the physics of it, but okay, I got hit in the head with a golf club, right? Like a real legit golf club. You can see how that would cause an injury. A tambourine, I mean, if she really hit it at the right angle, maybe she could cut her with the little cymbal thing. But that didn't happen either.
And
it's like hollow.
And even if, like, they were playing around, they were messing around. If she accidentally hit her, which if she did, it was very slight, because I mean, we saw the video.
We watched.
I saw no contact. But even if she did, I mean, she like takes it to this point where like she doesn't feel safe. She needs her to stay 5 feet away from her. Like it was clearly an accident if it even happened.
Yeah, and that's like off camera stuff, right? So we see it, but she's talking to the producers, like not as like a confessional or anything, not as a main, not plot point, but like they're off to the side talking about it. So that was something. There's got to be something going on that she thinks is going to be good gameplay that I mean, I don't know if you can see. I can't see it. I don't know what it's going to be. And her also taking credit for reverse psychologying the entire cast to get rid of Corinne is like, either this woman is delusional or she is the slipperiest snake we ever have seen. I can't believe I got that one out. And she is like, you cannot see. She's light years ahead of all of us. I don't think that's the case. But
I don't even remember her really playing much of a part in the whole thing with Corinne.
No, I feel like that was just like circumstantial. Like she had to get rid of Corinne because they had that beginner bad blood, but she didn't. No matter what alliances they have, people like Johnny Fairplay, Johnny Bananas are not going to vote just because Omarosa wants them to a certain way. They are obviously playing their games their way. We see that this week for sure. No one's playing the way Omarosa wants to play, except maybe Bobby and Anfisa. So I don't know what she's on, but I think she's going a little cuckoo.
I don't know. There was a lot. I feel like there was a lot of time dedicated to that. But I also got, okay, so I understand that it could be just, the way that it was edited. But I'm like, why did she wait so long to do all of this? Because we went through a whole episode almost between the choir scene and now, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what happened after the choir scene. I bet not knowing for sure, but editing, like it happened the next morning because it looked like daylight, but they had to get through like the whole banishment thing,
ceremony and stuff. Yeah.
And maybe, who knows? Now that we've spoken with Nick from Love is Blind, like everything is a lie and it's all, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what's real. I don't know how the timeline worked out. But
I don't know.
Yeah, that was surprising because I really thought it was going to be a different type of fight than a tambourine to the wrist. That was unexpected.
Yeah, very interesting. And a very interesting start to the episode. And then we're seeing the house for the first time without Corinne. And I have to say, I kind of miss her.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like her. She is funny. And that little like scene they do with Johnny and the doll and him like flinging the doll. It did give me those vibes of like
yeets Corinne over the fence.
And he said something about her too. I think to Tanisha about how Tanisha says that she loved him, that Corinne loved him, and he said, "I don't care," or something like that.
Man.
So he's over it fast. But we care and we miss you, Corinne, and maybe she'll be back too, because supposedly people are coming back into this house. I keep waiting for the twist. We're 7 episodes in. We still have like 90% of the cast. I don't know what's going on here.
How many more episodes are there?
There's supposed to be 10. To be fair, the source is Johnny Fairplay, who also told us that Anna Delvey is the voice of the house. And Shake has told us that Anna Delvey is not the voice of the house. So it's just inspired by Anna Delvey, who's a producer. So I don't know what's real.
I think what we figured out is that it was supposed to be Anna Delvey, but then she couldn't do it. And so somebody else did it, like tried to sound.
But she told her. He told me it was Anna. I got sabotaged by Johnny Fairplay.
Well, I went back and listened to it. I was like, that is not Anna Delvey. I know her voice.
I knew it sounded familiar. I still think I would have to listen to it. But okay, not Anna Delvey. Tambourine. We miss Corinne. Restraining order.
Restraining order.
And that's just like the first 5 minutes of the show. So then we get to the challenge, or now they're calling them battle royales.
Apparently. I noticed that. They said that a few different times. And I was like, why are they all of a sudden calling it that?
Right. And I thought that was the name of the challenge. But the name of the challenge is Power Trip. Yeah. So now we have a new term to add to the House of Villains glossary. Battle Royale is the name of the challenges.
We're playing Fortnite now.
I know about as much about Fortnite as I do about sports ball. So I can't help you there. So now Power Trip. And did they come up with this game like in 2 minutes on a cocktail napkin in the bar? This was the worst challenge. They're just hand casing a briefcase.
It's late.
It's been a long day.
Later than normal.
They're handcuffing a briefcase to these people and just having them pass it back and forth. That's all they had. So like you said at the top, like no guest villain. Mm-mm. No, Joel wasn't even there in person. He's just on a video screen. Where was Joel? Like what was he doing?
Where was Joel? And also, okay, but just back to the challenge, like the concept of the challenge. I was thinking, like, if you compare the quality, the production quality of the other challenges, like last week, week before last, we had the whole ice thing. That was the week before last, right? And then you've got we had the whole like masquerade thing, which was like a whole thing with like with extras, and then we had like the big balls thing. What is going on?
Thought out.
So different.
I do not know. And I would love if we need more House of Villains guests. Somebody please come explain to us. Anfisa has made it clear it will not be her, but anyone else, like we would really love, and she was kind about it, but we would love to hear from you guys. Like what happened this week, because it was supposed to be Fairplay's week. And we'll talk about that in a second. And it was like, these challenges are a little bit more exciting normally than a briefcase. So did like the restraining order play into that, where you couldn't do whatever your plan was originally? How did this come to be? Because I'm sorry, I hated it. I hate this for you guys.
Yeah, it was weird. Fairplay was supposed to finally win a challenge, apparently, and
which he did.
Technically, he did. Technically, he won the challenge. He just didn't get to pick everything. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, Fairplay wins. The briefcase is given to him last, so everybody else gets eliminated, and then at least somebody opened the freaking briefcase this time. Shake learned his lesson, I guess, and they decide to open the briefcase. And it's Joel McHale telling them, hey, here's a surprise twist. You're not the supervillain. And so, sadly, our Fairplay has to pass the baton on to, like, the Bobby Lights.
What? Of all people, he's on the opposite alliance. I know Fairplay is saying like he's trying not to, I guess, like stick to one alliance. Like he's trying to ally with everybody, basically. But why would you give it to Bobby Lights?
I'm wondering if this is just a theory.
Okay.
But him, Omarosa, and Johnny Bananas, I think we've all almost unanimously agreed across like the House of Villains fandom are the top contenders, right? Mm-hmm. And he has an alliance with Bananas, but he has known Omarosa way longer. So is this his backdoor way of trying to get Bananas out? Because he knows that Bobby's going to nominate him. They have bad blood. Bobby Lights does not forgive easily or at all, it seems. So was this because if he was sticking with his main alliance, he should have either let Omarosa sit back in that chair or chosen Bananas or even Shake. Even Shake would have helped out that alliance. And he goes the complete opposite way. And Johnny Fairplay is not a stupid person. So there's something going on there. And maybe it played into Omarosa's wrist somehow.
Maybe so. And I mean, I know that, he has a day one alliance with Omarosa. And I don't know. Do you think that Omarosa like told him to pick Bobby?
I don't think he can be told to do anything, to be honest. But I'm wondering if he knows like Bananas has a very strong chance of winning this. Omarosa has a very strong chance of winning this, but his and Bananas alliance is still relatively new in like the timeline of how long he's known them both. Yeah. He has known Omarosa going on, I think he said something like 20 years. So you play the game with somebody up until you can't play it with them anymore. But he's also said that every time he wants somebody to go home, they go home, which we have seen throughout the course of the show. So I'm thinking this is his gameplay of like, yes, I'm on your alliance, I'm on your team, but oops, I didn't mean to do it this way. And this is not what I was promised, but this is what happened anyway.
So do you think he now wants Bananas to go home?
I think he knows that he has to get him out eventually. And the sooner, the better. I don't think Bananas is going to go home anytime soon. But I think he knows like those three are the top dogs. And so he has to make a move because I don't think any of them see the others as strong competitors other than those three for this type of a show. Like I can't see Bobby, Tanisha, Anfisa winning the ultimate supervillain title. Like
Could you imagine if Anfisa won this whole show? I would not watch season 2.
It would not surprise me. They're starting to bring her in more. We're starting to see more conversations with her. With Shake and Bananas, her and Bananas hanging out by the pool a little bit. Not the same vibes as Corinne. Sorry, I can't get behind that showmance. But she is a tough cookie. I started following her on Instagram and she is very blunt and pulls no punches. And I hope we get to see more of that on the show because it still is like very, very little of Anfisa. But she had a voice this week. I mean, she definitely was talking, giving her opinions on who she likes and doesn't like and who double-crossed her. And so she's starting to peek out there among the pack.
Yeah, well, I guess at this point she kind of has to. I mean, she can't really keep just kind of floating under the surface for long because people are starting to go home.
Well, I'd say we're running out, but we really aren't.
We still have a lot.
We have a lot of villains left. And then we have, 7? Because Jax, New York, and Corinne all went home.
Okay.
And so, I think that makes 7 left.
Interesting.
You've got, let's see, the Johnnies, Fairplay and Bananas, Omarosa, Bobby, Tanisha, Shake, and Anfisa. 7 left.
Right. So after this next elimination, we'll have 6 people left in the house. I'm just trying to think. Just trying to think of like the math of it all because like you're gonna have one supervillain. They're gonna pick 3 people to go up. I don't know. I'm just wondering if they're going to change the format of the show at some point.
I would think if they're going to keep it the way it is, there's no way it's 10 episodes, because that would give us 3 weeks left and 7 people. This is episode 7. So how does that math doesn't math? And
no, it doesn't.
Yeah. Or we've been lied to about the number of episodes and it's still going to go well into the new year.
That could be possible. Sorry, but you know how like, you know, you watch a TV show and you can look it up and it'll say how many episodes there's going to be. Have we looked that up to see if it's confirmed?
No, I don't.
I haven't either.
Me research and be prepared for something? No, that doesn't happen.
No. Right. Well, anyways,
we'll look into it.
I'm just curious to see like if things are gonna maybe change after this week or after next week.
From what we've been teased, unless it's all a freaking lie, and this whole press tour that these guys are going on is just one big fat lie. With, you know, Jack saying he's coming back and Fairplay saying there's 10 episodes, you know, like there's got to be some kind of drastic like quadruple elimination, because I don't know how we're getting down to the end the way we've been going. And if I see one more briefcase in my life on this show, I may just boycott forever. Not even season 2. I will boycott every single show these people are on for the rest of the time.
Yeah, they do like their briefcases.
It was so silly. And then I also thought, so they had the Pride Party, and we now have Johnny Bananas has upgraded to Johnny Papaya.
Johnny Papaya.
And that's the wig, the dress, the heels on the staircase. Perfection. I don't even want to see Bananas again. I only exclusively want Johnny Papaya.
Oh, only papayas.
Yes, we are now Team Papaya. So thank you, Bobby, for giving us a papaya instead of a banana. I think they're tastier anyway. It's a whole nother story.
I've never had a papaya.
No, they're good. You should try them.
Okay.
I would think that a Johnny Papaya is even tastier than a real papaya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just Corinne can tell us.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding, Corinne. Please come on the show. We know that maybe did happen. Anyway, moving on to the luxury reward.
Whatever this reward.
Thank you.
Is that what it's called? Is that what they call it? The luxury reward.
And someone from this show, we don't care if you were on it, in it, an intern, if you delivered a sandwich to them at some point in time, explain how these names of things keep changing or coming along 7 episodes in.
Can we get a little bit of consistency?
Yeah. So now we have the lair, we have the hideout, we have the freaking the luxury reward this week, and it didn't seem like a huge reward. So they get this very nice looking car, which either the battery died or they forgot to gas up before they put the 3 of them in there. I don't know what happened, but they spent some time broken down on the side of the road, and then they go to lunch, and that's the reward. Like, congrats, you get to eat.
The level of just behind the scenes in the show is something that I really appreciate, because
giving us little glimpses.
All the little people running around trying to get the car running was the best part of this episode. Not really, but Johnny Papaya was the best part of this episode.
Johnny Papaya, I think, was like the peak of all episodes so far. I mean, other than them all walking into the house, how can you cannot top Johnny Papaya. He needs his own show where him and Fairplay stick their junk in the scorpion box.
The only thing I have to say about the luxury reward is, why Omarosa again? Can she just stay at the house, please?
I do think everybody wants her out of the house so that she's not talking trash in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
But yeah, I agree.
On the reward or whatever.
And then it's always awkward depending on who goes, because it's like they don't necessarily have the best friendships between the three of them. And so it's just a kind of awkward dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see in between, the clips of everybody hanging out at the house that's not on the reward. And we see the return of Anfisa. She's back and she's talking again. This is incredible. We have like a highlight 3 times in a row. I think I've seen her this episode. And there's not a whole bunch going on. Like, I didn't really take a ton of notes for their strategizing when everybody was doing the reward, or when the 3 of them were doing the reward. There wasn't that much that came of it.
No, I don't think so. It kind of feels like, to me, it just sort of feels like at this point, all the alliances are almost like up in the air. Like, I don't know that anyone is fully committed to anyone else at this point.
You can never trust a villain.
Never can.
And I don't like that whole Omarosa saying she stabs in the front, not in the back. Girl, no, you do not. You nominated 3 people who had no idea you were coming for them. Okay, 2 people who had no idea you were coming for them, who you told were safe. So how is that stabbing in the front?
Yeah, no, you can't use that phrase anymore.
No, that is done. Now we get to the hit list. Am I missing something, or is this nomination the dumbest play you've ever seen in reality television?
It doesn't make any sense, because for what reason, other than just to be like, because I can, and just to do something that no one's expecting? For what reason? Why are you going to put yourself up for elimination? You want to leave?
So for those of us who listen to our podcast but don't watch this show, it must be a bit like, hi, Mom. The hit list nominees this week were Shake and Bananas, and then Bobby Light, who is the supervillain, who should have safety this week. Plays a little bit of a trick on us. We think he's going for fair player Omarosa, but goes for Bobby Lights. Chooses Bobby Lights. Okay.
Puts himself up for elimination.
What?
For why? For why, sir?
Why? Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
It did make great TV.
Mm-hmm.
It did make for some nice quips from Joel and interesting feedback from the house, but I do not get it. Does he feel safe enough in his alliances that he knows he's not going to go home? Because he doesn't know what whatever they're calling the safety challenge, the redemption challenge, I think.
He doesn't know
what it's going to be. So how can you guarantee your safety? And what does he know that we don't? What are you hiding under that cobweb shirt, Bobby Lights?
Not much.
I would like to know, where do you get clothes like this? I have not seen them on Amazon or on TikTok.
They might be on Shein.
Oh, is it Shein? I thought it was Shine.
Shein.
I don't know.
Whatever it is. But it might be on there. There's some weird stuff on there.
I don't know. I feel like he's a Fashion Week kind of a guy, like off the runway. And I don't know. I don't mean to misgender. I don't know if Bobby Fairplay.
Bobby Lights.
It's been a very long day. Bobby Lights, I apologize if we're misgendering you. Anyway.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody reference it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But anyway.
But regardless, we have Shake. No surprise. Shake's up for elimination yet again.
He doesn't even know what to say anymore. He's like, yeah, you suck.
Bananas was a surprise, I guess, but also not a surprise.
I knew it wasn't going to be Omarosa.
No.
And if you really want to start to shake things up, you've got to go big. I don't know as big as nominating yourself, but
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm really curious to see what happens though. Like, if Bobby doesn't win the redemption challenge and he's up for elimination, I would almost just vote for him because he nominated himself.
Stupid, yeah, and dominated
you volunteered yourself.
I think he's going to end up going home. That is my guess. I don't think Bananas goes for a very long time, if at all. And so
No.
it's got to be between Shake and Bobby.
And Bobby. And I don't want Shake to go home.
And he's managed every week so far.
Yeah.
He slides right back into that house.
Yeah.
Like he's sliding into some DMs.
And they really hated him last week. But this week, there's not really much. He's just kind of there this week, so.
Yeah, he was more of a background player. This episode was kind of weird. It felt like an afterthought.
It was weird, yeah.
And in Bobby's confessional, when he was trying to explain why Bobby Lights was a nomination or the final nomination for the hit list, as opposed to one of the other cast members, can't think of anything clever to say. Obviously can't think of anything clever to do because, once again, why Bobby Lights? I am also sham-wowed, as is Johnny Bananas, that you would pull that kind of a move. I just don't know how that helps your gameplay at all, or how much you smoked to think that was a good idea. And that's where we leave the episode. We leave it on this weird vibe of and Tanisha's shocked too. Tanisha can't believe it either.
Well, everybody seemed shocked. No one was expecting it. And it's a moment.
You know what? Bobby Lights could be one of those people who just wants to create moments and not necessarily, aiming for the win. If what we've heard is true, that these cast members make bank on their Instagram advertising and, whatever sponsorships they get, then yeah, it's great to win $200K. Everybody wants to win $200K, but you making these big memorable moves is in the long run worth a lot more than making it to the end of the show. Because maybe Bobby Lights doesn't think going all the way anyway.
I don't think so.
That ends the episode, kind of like a wah.
That's it.
So that also ends our episode. That's all we have for you guys this week. We are going to continue to recap House of Villains as the episodes go, but we are going to take a break. And I know I promised interviews with Devlin Wilder, with Nick and Izzy from Love is Blind, and we do have those. I have not forgotten, but we need some time. We need to reset. We need to enjoy the holidays, and I need to get my shit into my new house. So we will continue to recap, but other than that, please like, subscribe, comment, review. Reviews are so helpful, especially Spotify. You don't even have to write anything. You can just click the 5 stars. If you have anything negative to say, please tell us directly in a DM or email us at lovepod.podcast@gmail.com. If you have questions for Izzy Zapata of season 5 of Love is Blind, you can post them on our social media posts asking you to ask him questions, or give us a ring or a text at 480-788-8558. That is 480-788-8558. And that comes directly to us, which goes directly to Izzy. Stay tuned next week, I guess, Jordan, for the return of Bobby Lights. Or will he be the next one yeeted into the sun with his non-voodoo doll?
Guess we'll see.
We will see. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We will see you, and we love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Where's the stop button? My mouse lags.